It's handy valve. If you've replaced your headlight and you find that it only works for a short time, or intermittent, where sometimes it's on and sometimes it's off, then it's not the bulb that's your problem. It's the headlight connector, which is the item I'm holding in my hand right now. As these Ford Fusions age, the headlamp connectors, through various heat cycles, begin and start to fall apart. Effectively, the plastic connector disintegrates and it stops making contact with the headlight bulb. This means that the electricity doesn't reach the bulb, so the bulb won't light up. I first noticed it as I replaced a bulb shortly after putting it in. At first I thought the new bulbs were faulty, but then I replaced the bulbs from another manufacturer and the same problem occurred. So then I thought perhaps it was a fuse, but after close inspection, it's a faulty connector. So in this video, I'm going to be replacing the old connector with this new connector. It's a simple fix that anyone can do. On this car, it's the daytime running lights, the low beam lights. So to get to that, I have a whole video on how to replace these bulbs, but I'll be very quick here in this video. So we're going to replace this piece here. We're going to remove this piece out to get access to it. Okay. If you want more details, you can watch my full video on that. In behind here, there's a little bit of a dust cap. Okay, take that dust cap out, and that's going to reveal the bulb. And we're going to go in there and we're going to turn it. Okay, and you're going to see the problem that I'm talking about here. And I already know there's a problem. Okay, and you can't see it from here, but let me try taking out the bulb first. So there you go. I've removed the bulb. Okay, and you could see right there the connector. That's how it's supposed to look, and that's how it looks. So it's actually very tight here, but what we're trying to do, you can sort of see the wires back there. We're going to try to cut those wires, connect them to this using some various tools. So let's get rid of this. Let me get in there and snip them, and I should have enough space to do my thing to connect them onto this. So let's first cut them. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to be able to get your hand through here and be able to get to that, and then you're just going to want to cut both wires as close to the connector as possible, because you don't have a lot of space here. You need as much wire as possible to get to it. Okay, get in there with a wire cutter and just cut them. Okay, so now this thing is on. You can really see it there. Okay, you can sort of see the heat cycle that has really deteriorated this, and it was making an intermittent connection. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Hit a bump, didn't hit a bump, but now we're out. Now the wires that are being used here, these are 18 gauge. So what we're going to need to do is get to those wires and strip them. What we're going to be doing here, we're going to be connecting. So there's a whole set here. You can buy these very cheap, very easily available. Connect one of these things here, connect it in through there. Obviously I'm going to strip this wire, and I'm going to use this and use a crimp tool such as this one to get to it. So that's effectively what I want to do. But to get to this, to connect to that, I first got to be able to get those wires and strip them. I'll first demonstrate how I'm going to strip these wires. So these are 18 gauge. Okay. So I'm going to do something like that and peel it off. And we're going to do the same thing for this other guy and peel it off. Okay. Now that's the easy part. The hard part is to do this, what I just did here, on those wires down there, without necessarily trying to move all this stuff out of the way. It's possible. Okay, it's a little bit hard to get to. As you can tell, it's very difficult to actually get in there. What I'm going to try to do is remove a little bit of this shroud, move it out of the way. I just need a little bit more space to get in there. So these are, it's a 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 10 millimeter. We're going to see how much we could move this out of the way. Okay, so I took out these guys. I took out this one. It's all very much connected, but it does afford you a little bit of space. You can sort of tell by just pushing it out. And you kind of get a screwdriver in there just to kind of make it hold its position, and that affords you a little bit more space here to actually get it in and do what you need to do. Looks like I got it. I'm just going to need to actually get my hand back there And let's see if this is enough. Well, it's not quite there, but we're gonna need to do a little bit more than that. I've kind of got it in where I need to, okay? It's very difficult but possible to get to, okay? I'm gonna move my hand in there. I'm gonna try to hold it and then try to push this out of the way. Try to strip this, and there you go. Okay, maybe that's a little bit too much, so you can sort of see that now. I got that one, maybe coming from this side. So there we go, we kind of got the two wires there. You can sort of see the black one, the one I just did, and then I got the other one right there. I think that's going to be enough for what we need to do here. So I'm going to demonstrate how these things work, right? So we're going to use the red here. We're going to sort of, you can sort of, maybe you're going to turn this wire around a little bit. Do the same thing there. You're going to want to pick the connector that fits the wire. Again, 18 gauge wire. And you're going to want to get the one that goes from 16 to 22. What you're going to want to do is squeeze that guy in there, just like that. And then use the crimp connector to find the one that lines up with the red. And you're going to want to get right in there, just like that. Make sure it's properly done. You sort of see that? Again, this is a crimp connector tool, and then what's going to happen is it's going to apply a lot of pressure there. See that? Squeeze it all the way through. Now it's going to make one hell of a connection. There you go. That's not going anywhere. And now we're going to do the same thing for the black one. Unfortunately, these aren't necessarily color coded. We're going to have to, when we connect them, we're going to need to be careful. So again, you can sort of see in there. This guy's going to go right in there. Make sure it's a nice connection in there. And you're going to come back with the crimp tool. And these are easily available on Amazon. You can sort of see it coming out there. Okay, makes it easy there with the red, and the red lines up with the red marker, and just squeeze this all the way, and there you go. Now measure, you're just going to want to pull on it, make sure it doesn't go away, and it's not going anywhere. Okay, now we're going to grab its other connector, the other side of the connector, which will be this. That's going to go inside there. This one's going to need to connect with the other one, and we're going to need to get the crimp tool in there and try to accomplish it. Now, that may be another struggle, but certainly possible. And this is how the connection is going to be. You can sort of see that. It actually makes for almost an impossible connection. I mean, you really have to tear it apart. But what we're going to do is we're going to put this in, then we're going to tape it up, and that should not be going anywhere. What I've actually done here, I've actually tried to, I haven't squeezed it in, but it's kind of holding it in right there. And the idea now is I'm going to go inside, see if I can fish the wire in there, and then crimp it. I've got this other needle nose plier kind of holding it together. I got this there, and I'm going to try to get this guy in there. And you can sort of see it. I kind of got it. Push it in all the way, much as possible. Oh, shucks. I try to use a couple of tools to your disposal. Needle nose plier, this guy, and you're going to want to try to get it right in there. Okay, you're a little bit going by hand. It looks like I've got it there. I'm just going to... Oh, I just lost it. Okay, I think I've got it. I'm going to crimp it now. See where we are now. Okay, we've got it. Let's see if it comes out. I don't want to press it too much because I'm going to tape this afterwards. Yep, so I think this guy we got. Now next up we're going to need to do the black. I'm going to use the same technique. Okay, got something there. Alright, so it looks like we got it. So that's kind of the trick there. You sort of see the needle nose plier hanging onto it. You could sort of see the wires. Hopefully you could sort of see the wires coming out. So we've got a good connection there, certainly. So that's the trick here. Needle nose pliers, and you're kind of already got the crimp piece already in your crimp tool, and you're just mushing the two together and then crimping. So now we've got it. So now let's make the connection again. Black is supposed to go with black, and then red is supposed to go with that kind of green color there. So let's try connecting the black first. Right, so that's what you're doing. You're kind of holding this thing on with the needle nose plier, and then with your hand, you're pushing it in. Now, I wanted to get some tape around these guys. Hard to do, but it probably makes sense to get some tape. But before we do that, what we want to do is let's connect the bulb to this and see if we've got the right connection. Okay, and again, there's a little bit of a slot there, a little bit of a slot there. We're going to slide this guy in there, and then we're going to try to turn the bulb on and see what we get. Okay, I'm going to leave that bulb right there. We're going to try it out. We should try it out with the key fob. You're going to lock it, and there you go. So it works. So let's put the bulb. Let's put this back along the bulb, and let's try to put some tape around these guys, because you're going to need to put tape, because you don't want them touching each other, right? If they touch each other, they could create a short. So you want to put tape around them. You're going to want to use, obviously you're going to want to use electrical tape. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle to get in there. Maybe more of a struggle to videotape it. But you're going to want to get in there and tape around each one of those. Alright, so that's it. So we're just trying to tape this guy around. We don't want to see any metal connection whatsoever to avoid any of the shorts. Okay, and I'm going to tape it nice and tight, specifically around the edges, around the middle. And I think we got it. So now next step is we're going to need to put this guy back in its spot. Again, for this part, watch my other video on how to do this. Okay, there's a little bit of a hole there. You're going to go counter. You're going to go clockwise right now. Squeeze it in there. Give another check right now. Let's have a look. Looks like we got it. Now, obviously, there was a lot of struggle here. Definitely there was. Your other alternative to get access to that, or have more access to it, what you would need to do is actually remove the bumper to remove the light fixture, and that gives you a lot more access. Now try this first. It's possible. Take your time, be patient. It's probably going to be about half an hour you fiddling there, lots of F words, but you'll be able to get this done. Now in a perfect world, when you're trying to connect this type of stuff, you're going to want to use what's called a pure butt connector. Okay, the wires go in, you still crimp it in the middle, and then you use a heat gun where this plastic melts around the wires or really sticks to it. Now the problem with this is that it's difficult to get in there, and it's you need the heat gun to get in there, which makes it very difficult to do. And getting the two wires in there all at the same time, very difficult. So that's why I ended up using these guys, but then with these guys, you need to wrap it up in tape so they don't touch each other. This is the set I was actually using that you buy, readily available on Amazon, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, and the crimp tool actually comes with that. It's going to be in the range of like $20 to $30. Obviously, you could buy better crimp tools. I wanted to use something more of a user-friendly type of tool that anyone could purchase. On the screen, you're going to see another one of my Handy Valve Ford Fusion DIY videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Handy Valve.